So fall is here. So it's getting a little chilly. So we bought the house in spring. Does have a gas fireplace. The home inspectors, when they tested it during the home inspection, it didn't work. And it was spring going into summer, so I haven't even looked at it yet. But like I said, it's fall now, so it's starting to get chilly, especially in the morning. So I'm gonna take a look at the gas fireplace in the living room and see if we can get it started. So I've never had a gas fireplace. My last house had a regular wood burning fireplace, but I'm aware of how pilots and all that work. So let's dive into it and start troubleshooting it and see if we can get it to work. That's my access door. I'm gonna clean all this out because there's a ton of dirt in here. All right, so moving on with my clean and inspect here. So most of the cleaning's done. I vacuumed stuff up and then just wet rag and wiped all the rest of the dust I could. So here's the thermocouple. So this is what, when your pilot light's on right here, it heats this up to create a little bit of micro voltage or whatever. That comes down to your valve and energizes the solenoid to keep the steady gas flow to keep your pilot light on. You want to make sure your thermocouples are clean. So you don't want any carbon or ash buildup on them, which can affect the voltage they create. So I do have quite a bit of ash on it. So I'm just going to get some steel wool and clean that thermocouple up real quick. Thermocouple rod up there, clean. And then after I clean it with the steel wool, I vacuumed everything tight. So our pilot's in the off position right now. All the wire connections look good. The home inspector said they couldn't get it started. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if we can get this valve. Reach in there and turn it parallel with the pipe. That means it's on. So let's gas into the valve. Position your valves in so it wasn't off. I'm gonna turn it over to pilot. Sometimes they have an auto start. And sometimes you need a lighter. So let me get a lighter and see if I can get this pilot on. Alright, so I just got a barbecue lighter. So I'm gonna push the pilot button in down here. And sweet. So I do have gas flow. I'm gonna hold the button. So you gotta hold the button down long enough to heat that thermocouple up so that the plunger under the pilot, the little solenoid plunger, will stay engaged and hold the pilot light on. So I've been holding it for about 10 seconds and let go. Oh, it stayed lit. Alright, and just for curiosity, I'm gonna get my multimeter and I'm gonna read the voltage that thermocouple's making to see if I'm in a good range. It looks like it's in good shape and we cleaned it. I just want to make sure. I want to make sure I don't have any problems with this before I start using it for the winter season. So let me go do that. Alright, so I got my meter. I have it just set to DC volts. See if I can set this up just so you can see what I'm looking for in case you're troubleshooting. So you have the two connectors in the red here are right here. Those are your two wires coming from the thermocouple. So I want to say you need like 300 microvolts or better for it to be working good. So I put it on the leads. This is hard to do. Yeah, there you can see my multimeter. Let's see what we got. So we got 380, 379 microvolts. So we're above 300. So looks like it is working properly. So that's cool. That's just something you can troubleshoot. So if your pilot valve isn't staying, the solenoid from your thermocouple, you can measure that voltage. That could indicate that your thermocouple up here is bad, or that it needs cleaned. So that's the metal rod sitting next to your pilot light. So it looks like mine's good. Alright, so I just got that turned all the way to the on position. See if anything happens when I flip the switch. Sweet. This thing's pulling off good heat. It's already heating me up over here. So let's go back off on the switch. Turns back off. Pilot light stays lit. Go back on. Cool. All right, I'm gonna let it run for a few minutes, and then we'll wrap this up. But looks like we got it working. More comment. I have a flue, so I just have a flue pipe for the exhaust gases. If you had a regular fireplace with a normal chimney that was converted to a gas fireplace, and you still had a damper, obviously make sure your damper valve up here is open before you start your gas fireplace. But mine's always open. It's just a flue pipe running out the roof. So. All right, let's get the logs put back in. All right, it's been running about 5 minutes. Seems to work good. I'll show you that switch. It's just a little hidden switch up here in the built-in. So it actually worked. So I didn't have a problem with the switch. But normally people use the 120 volt house switches, and this is all low voltage wire. So they don't tend to be as reliable as getting a true low voltage switch. But here are the wires coming in. This is the wire going off to that switch in the bookcase up there in the built-in. It's the bottom lead and the top one. So if that switch wasn't turning your full burner on, and what that switch does is fully opens the valve to ignite the send gas to the main burner and turn it on. You could get a jumper and jump that to try to turn it on and open the valve to rule out if your switch was an issue, but my switch works fine. So I'll turn it back off, let it cool, put the logs in, get it turned back on, and we'll be done. All right, cool. So get the logs back in. Probably need to adjust it a little bit forward. I think that's the look it's supposed to have, but based on the main burner being the center, those two little small logs are supposed to go to the outside to make it focused in the center. It puts out a good amount of heat, which is cool. So yeah, hope this video was helpful. So I'm gonna turn the lights back on. Let's see what it looked like with the lights off. Yeah, hope it helped. If you've never had a gas fireplace before, there's some tips to getting it started to troubleshoot it and maintain it right. Keep it clean. So before you go to start it back up every winter or whatever, inspect everything, clean it, make sure it's good to go, and it should work no problem for you all winter. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.